A very good evening to you. Thank you for staying with TV3. Welcome to News 360. It is live from our studio here at Adesanwe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu Date.
And I am Bernice Abubeidulansa. We're also streaming live on our socials. We are TV3 Ghana. Please stay for the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
United States of America's Secretary of State to determine whether former Maslock CEO Sedina Tamaklo should be handed to Ghana following District Court's certification of extradition request.
Also, government to suspend some taxes on petroleum products this week as new pricing window opens on Thursday.
And later in the bulletin, increased illegal mining activities along Black Volta leaves residents disturbed as water is heavily polluted.
And on the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump says his country will block all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz.
We are live around the world on 3news.com. That's our website. And like Bernie said, we are streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so your comments are very welcome. We are starting our bulletin from the United States of America, where that country's Secretary of State is to determine whether former Maslock CEO Sedina Tamaklo should be handed to Ghana. This follows a district court's certification of an extradition request made by the government of Ghana. You may recall the former Maslock CEO was in April 2024 sentenced to a 10-year prison term in hard labor after she was found guilty of various corruption offenses. She had been tried in absentia after she failed to show up in court when she was granted bail to travel for treatment in the United States of America. We have exclusive details from court documents to share with you, and many of you have already been talking about this particular development. So what we do know as of now is that the U.S. District Court of Nevada, specifically, that's the state that she's in now. You'll recall there was a case which is the U.S. versus Sedina Tamaklo, also known as Sedina Sharon Christine Akolache. So that's her maiden name. However, it goes on to say that this is the final decision of the District Court in Nevada that the court has jurisdiction to conduct extradition proceedings. The court has personal jurisdiction over Sedina Tamaklo because she was in the state of Nevada. So this is a Nevada District Court specifically. The extradition treaty between Ghana and the U.S. is in force, for which reason both countries can agree for extradition to take place. Again, part of the court's decision is that the person being sought by Ghana authorities and the person brought before the court are one and the same person. Again, Ghana has submitted documents that were properly certified by the legal jurisdictions of the United States, for which reason they believe that she should be tried. She was tried, has been agreed by the court that she can now be extradited. Probable cause exists to believe that Sedina Tamaklo committed the offenses for which extradition is sought. And the final conclusion from the court's decision is that the court certifies the extradition of Sedina Tamaklo to Ghana and commits her to the custody of the U.S. Marshal pending further decision to extradition and surrender by the Secretary of State. And the next line of action expected is that the Secretary of State, you can see him on your screen, that is Marco Rubio, may order her delivery to any authorized agent of Ghana. And the authorized agent could be either the Embassy of Ghana or specific individuals empowered by the state to help in the extradition process. So the entire week or the week ahead, would have many more questions and fingers crossed to see what the next line of action would be.
You're still watching News 360. Let's now focus on some environmental matters. And illegal mining activities have surged along the Black Volta, resulting in massive pollution of the river. Municipal Chief Executive of Kintampo North Assembly, Isaac Donko, says efforts are underway to deploy blue water guards as a lasting solution to the menace.
A community-based organization, the Ntaban Development Association, had raised alarm over escalating illegal mining activities along the Black Volta River in the Kintampo North municipality of the Bunu East region. The group says what began in a few communities has now spread across several communities along the river, particularly between Bamboy and Bwepe. The situation is said to have worsened significantly in recent months, despite efforts by authorities to clamp it down. The group is also concerned about the potential health implications, noting that fish from the Black Volta is widely consumed in major markets across Kintampo, Techiman, Ejura, Mampong, Tamale, and beyond. Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the Kintampo North Municipality, Isaac Donko, said long-term measures are being implemented to deal with the situation, among them the deployment of the Blue Water Guards to drive them away.
Galamsey activities from unscrupulous persons, predominantly from the Savannah region who enters through the Bamboy side of the river, invaded the Black Volta to do illegal mining. Somewhere this particular year, we had an information that they have resurfaced again. The regional minister to the presidency, they have taken a proactive measure, and as I'm speaking with you, there are people who we have made them ready and they are going for training. We call them the Blue Water Guards. The initial training of these Blue Water Guards, Kintampo North and South, which wasn't part of this challenging Galamsey menace. Since the issue is now increasing and predominantly music goes there, and when you return, then they come back to the water. We are now looking for a lasting solution to make sure that we train the Blue Water Guards to come in.
Let's explore this issue further. Deputy Director of Arosha Ghana, a pro-environmentalist group, Daryl Bosu, joins me for more on this. Grateful for your time this evening. Now, in a recent statement released, you had concerns about the fight against Galamsey and where we are now. We just heard from an official in the municipality who believes that the Blue Water Guards will help, at least temporarily, bring a solution to this. You disagree. You think that this fight does not have any concerted strategy. Why so?
I'm good evening to you, my brother, and I'm also very happy to hear that you are really prioritizing the concern of the communities along the Bamboy area, particularly close to the Black Volta. And I must say, the development that we are talking about, if you listen to the MC and what he's saying about the preferred solution, it clearly tells you that the government doesn't have any consistent plan and development. Observing how the various interventions have been going over the period, the 2 months that are taking note, going around some of the various regions where the Galamsey is very rife and all of that, I see that the actions are very, very ad hoc. It is only taking community people to report before these things are addressed. When we were made to believe that the government was going to make sure that the MMDAs are really on top of these issues and all of that, it's not happening. And that is why I've come to believe that this fight is very, very ad hoc. The best they have had so far is 9 months, but 9 months, as you know, doesn't have the capacity to do what it needs to be done. And the talk about Blue Water Guards is just, for me, I know that one is not going to work. Blue Water Guards are not set up to be on the ground to be enforcing or to be arresting illegal miners. They are only there to observe and report. But if the report must go to 9 months, not the local police command for them to react and also take action, then we are really going to fail. So I think that the fight so far, the way it is going, with the impunity still at stake and ongoing, it's clearly become an ad hoc intervention and it's not giving us the result that we need.
Darryl, so we have 9 months, we have the Blue Water Guards. We also know that some specialized courts are being, put in place to fast-track Galamsey-related issues. You think this is not enough? What then is the solution we should be looking for?
No. I think the solutions are always at hand. We are only just refusing to make them work. We talked about the fast-track court and all that. This has been a promise since last year, around June, July, and I don't know what else we are waiting for. We are almost going to have year 2026, and we don't even have the fast-track court. I don't know when that we are going to translate to start and we are actually prosecuting cases. It must translate to that. There's a lot of talk as to what must be done. Our intelligence agencies are not being used to very effectively provide support for the fight against Galamsey. I don't know why the fight has only become one of 9 months, while the various commands and all the district divisional commands are sitting idle and letting things go on. So the solutions are at hand, but there is so much political interest, political interference, and that is what is making the Galamsey fight fail. I think I was very sad that somewhere in the course of last month, the president about admitting that his own people are part of this menace, but they are not taking action to deal with it. As their forest reserves also thriving. So, my brother, there's a lot of talk, but there is very little action is being taken. And that's why I say that this fight against Galamsey has turned to be an ad hoc one with no and coordinated action ongoing right now.
I'm grateful for your time. That's Darryl Bosu. He works with Arusha Ghana. They're a pro-environmentalist group. And just to mention, Martin, that we know that the Chief Justice did put in place some specialized courts for Galamsey. We need to follow up and see what's happening in that regard.
Certainly. Still watching News 360, let's shift our attention to what to expect this week, because petroleum consumers are being urged to lower their expectations as fuel prices may only see a marginal decline. The Ministry of Energy and Finance are to announce suspensions of some tax handles this week as the new pricing window takes off on Thursday. There is more in this report.
Petroleum prices on the world market have been unstable, resulting in a rise in fuel prices at the pumps here in Ghana. Despite a ceasefire between USA and Iran, experts are cautious about immediate drop in prices. Government says tax handles adding up to the price build-up will be suspended for the next 4 weeks. Felix Kwachofosu is Minister for Government Communications.
The finance and energy ministers should take immediate steps to reduce the price of fuel through the removal of some taxes and margins on fuel. Effective, the next pricing window is supposed to last for an initial period of 4 weeks from the next pricing window. After the 4 weeks, the situation will be reviewed.
The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, meanwhile, says prices may not see a significant drop. Duncan Amoa is Executive Secretary.
Plus or minus, prices could come down if you look at the taxes, and the taxes are significant. If you are going to do about 10% of petrol prices, it could have been 1 cedi 30. That would have amounted to something. 10% of diesel could have also taking you to about another 1 cedi 70. If you input the taxes that the two ministries concerned are likely to reduce, maybe prices could stabilize or decline marginally, but it wouldn't be that much if international benchmarks remain at the levels at which they are today.
Okay. The Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors wants government to take off the energy sector levies and subsidy on premixed fuel.
A way of government raking in some more money to support the other revenue shortfalls as a result of taking some of these office. Also stop the subsidy on premise fuel, because we've not seen any direct impact that will necessarily bring. Right. And why I say that is that assuming I import petrol, I would rather sell to an oil marketing company that is selling it out for me to get my money than put it into a product that is subsidized.
The new pricing window will begin on Thursday, 16th April 2026.
Now, several residents, including children at Wood Estate near Kajano, within the Dadikotopon municipality, have been displaced in the second phase of a demolition. The exercise targeted the reclamation of encroached state lands. Stanley Nibleu reports that the exercise was later halted following calls from above requesting the demolition team to resort to dialogue with affected residents.
Victims continue to count their losses as the demolition exercise enters day 2. By 5 a.m. on Sunday, residents were abruptly awakened as 2 payloaders razed their homes to the ground. Under the protection of a joint security operation, more than 100 wooden and cement block structures were reduced to rubble. Victims sift through the debris in search of buried belongings, while church services have been disrupted following the earlier demolition of their place of worship. Congregants gathered at the ruined premises to console one another. Residents say the exercise took them by surprise.
They came here with a demolition permit. Everything shows that they have the right to demolish. But the thing is, there are human beings here. And for that matter, there should be some cordial relationship, which probably it will enhance whatever work which is going to take place. Yes, it's true that yesterday they came, but they came in a Rambo style, which we were not given the awareness of their coming.
The Ladadekotopon Municipal Assembly says it was not informed prior to the commencement of the demolition. The exercise, however, was halted after the lead contractor, Clemens Jato, indicated that he had received directives from key government officials to suspend the operation and allow for dialogue with residents.
Whilst we were pushing the exercise forward, calls came. The ministers have called, local government minister, we've had the fisheries minister call. We've had that engagement, and we are happy with what the MP and the MC have come here to say or to do. For human face to the exercise, we've been asked to give extension of time to the exercise.
A 21-day grace period has since been issued to give occupants time to prepare and vacate the land. Within this period, the Municipal Chief Executive, Alfredos Ni Anyate, is expected to engage affected residents. The MCE expressed concern over the scale of displacement.
We have a strong objection to the process. Like I said earlier, we are all at a loss. Suddenly, we are somewhere one early morning and we are hearing there's demolition. I'm not happy. As you can see, I'm very stressed.
Meanwhile, Clemens Jato maintains that a 2-acre parcel of land at Amrahia in the Denta municipality has been earmarked for possible resettlement.
More so, the displaced persons, we've come into an arrangement. We're offering them 2-acre land where the displaced persons will be moved to by the assembly. So when they move, the assembly is with us. Whatever they want to do on the land for them, we will assist them.
Vulnerable families remain among the hardest hit, insisting they will not vacate without firm and transparent resettlement arrangements. With a 21-day ultimatum now in effect, attention shifts to negotiations between authorities and residents as government faces mounting pressure to balance land reclamation efforts with humane and sustainable resettlement solutions. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu says she is unaware of the demolition exercise.
enti why you be first one you be nya baby abo mu adan enti de e wa ha ana wa kan ase wie what you say she ni wa you be dey way forward dey.
Well, to it, the Greater Accra Regional Minister is saying that she was unaware of the demolition and that the Member of Parliament for the area and the MCE were all not aware of the exercise. You also actually had the MCE in that clip that we brought to you earlier. So the next line of action would be to find shelter for those who have been affected, and we would monitor this situation and update you subsequently.
Still our attention to other stories here on News 360. The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has called for a renewed focus on quality, discipline and innovation in education. Having officially launched the 150th anniversary celebration of Infantipim School in Accra, she praised the school's long-standing contribution to leadership and national development. She's been urging stakeholders to align education with the demands of a rapidly evolving, innovation-driven economy.
A distinguished gathering of alumni, dignitaries and guests marked the official launch of the 150th anniversary celebrations of Infantipim School, one of Ghana's most prestigious educational institutions. Chairman of the anniversary launch, Nana Brew Butler, said Infantipim has not only educated students, it has shaped minds, molded character and produced leaders. Minister of Education Haruna Idrisu commended Infantipim School for playing a pivotal role in shaping Ghana's education. He announced some government policies in the offing.
From the 1st of July, under President Mohammed's research agenda, special education for the vulnerable persons with disability will be free in Ghana under the leadership of President Mahama and Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. An amount of 100 million Ghana cedis have been dedicated in the Get Fund formula approved by Parliament for the takeoff of the new initiative. A few weeks ago, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu said he was waiting for President Mahama on the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Teaching Hospital. I am assuring him that President Mahama will, before the end of this year, join him to commission the KNUST Teaching Hospital, and an amount of 400 million Ghana cedis have been dedicated for the completion of the teaching hospital.
The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, who officially launched the 150th anniversary celebrations, praised Infantipim School for its long-standing contribution to education and leadership in Ghana and urged the current students to uphold the legacy of the institution and strive for academic excellence and integrity.
This anniversary invites reflection on the structure, quality, relevance, and direction of education. It reminds us that we preserve discipline and character, expand access without eroding excellence, and align education with an innovation-led economy. I'm encouraged by your initiatives, Infantipim, such as your proposed STEM Center, but I must say that education must touch every discipline. Government, of course, remains committed to strengthening secondary education across this country, recognizing that meaningful progress requires strong partnerships.
I'm sure many of you are either having dinner now or have just had dinner, but let's talk about food now. It is widely recognized as a source of energy and with high nutritional benefits. With as low as 2 cedis, you can afford a staple in the fancy culinary dictionary tradition, I should say, that can sustain you throughout the day. In this report, George Queening, my colleague, throws the spotlight on the fancy delicacy and why it is considered the savior among all other meals.
Etil is part of the maize revolution within fancy cuisine, showcasing the creative use of corn in various textures. It is made from fermented corn dough, commonly eaten by fancy people. Etel is prepared by stirring corn dough in water to form a smooth, thick consistency, then covering it on low heat for several minutes to cook through, resulting in a soft, smooth dough. Etel can be served with pepper and fried fish or the preferred fancy fish stew. Obahima Esiamfoa has been selling etel for the past 30 years and counting. Aside it being a source of financial freedom, she finds delight in feeding the multitude. For her, there's some level of contentment watching customers eat what she has prepared with love.
It is cheap but heavy. You can use it for porridge for kids, and they easily get satisfied. Etel is the ultimate among all foods.
Eating of etel is part of Esi Pentel's daily ritual, considering its high nutritional benefits.
It is heavy and also gives energy. Children get full easily, which drives them from disturbing their mothers over hunger.
Esinyawa turned 70 years this year. All her 8 children were delivered home. She has never been to the hospital, attributing this feat to the potency of etel.
My mother gives me porridge made from etel, and this etel is old. She puts salt inside without sugar. Etel is a savior.
Particularly popular in coastal fishing communities like Cape Coast and Elmina, here at Salt Pond, sellers are dotted at almost every corner, confirming the high demand for the fancy delicacy. Esi Boache, who's a native of Salt Pond, explains why etel in Accra tastes different from any one purchased in any central regional town.
The one in Accra is mixed with cassava dough, and that makes it very light. Etel is very heavy and makes you full.
Etel provides certain levels of dietary fiber and also a high source of carbohydrates.
That is why the people will tell you that when you take it or when they eat it in the morning, it takes them throughout the day without them getting hungry because it's a high source of carbohydrate for them. And then besides that, because of the dietary fiber in it, it takes a longer time to digest. So you can stay on it for a long time. During the fermentation process of etel, or the corn, we derive some lactic acid bacteria from it. That is actually also good for the health of the people who are eating it.
It may possess all the high nutritional benefits, but health experts are highly concerned about its handling.
When I saw the woman preparing it, one of the things I thought was that she had a cloth on her legs. The hand washing process is, the food is heated and hot and all of that, but you realize after preparing the whole thing, she dashed her hand on the lap. That cloth could contain bacteria, and then she reintroduced the hand back to the food, and then there can be contamination.
Oba Salt Pond stole her husband's heart with etel. After hearing all the nutritional benefits of etel, it's quite advisable I try it myself, and so this is what Ama Winiba has served me with. And a portion of etel and then fanti and then my fish in there. So, well, this is my first morsel. I pray my taste buds are receptive to this. Let's try this. This is nice. It's quite heavy like they say. It's quite heavy. I can feel it. So anytime you find yourself in a fancy dan, make sure you don't miss etel. I'm told when I eat this, I'm not going to eat anymore until the next day. George Quinn, TV3 News, Salt Pond.
And I can attest to the fact that since George ate that food 2 days ago, he has still not eaten up to that. Let's take us on a break.
Thank you for staying here on News 360. Experts are warning that Ghana risks falling behind in addressing issues like climate change, food security and public health if there are no sustained investments and deliberate efforts to turn research into practical solutions. At a gathering of scientists, policymakers and development partners at the Sankore project closing, governments have been urged to adopt innovation-led and knowledge-driven methods to making lives better for citizens in West Africa.
From unpredictable weather patterns affecting agriculture to evolving health risks and the demands of a digital economy, Ghana is increasingly relying on science, technology and innovation to find lasting solutions. But there have been gaps in that attempt because many profitable research works remain unused, with limited pathways to commercialization or policy adoption.
Ghana as a country is blessed with very hard-working research scientists. They do all these researches, and a lot of them which are viable end up on the shelves. We don't see it to prototype or tangible outcomes. So UKCH worked with a consultancy firm to audit the commercialization capabilities of CSIR. And with this, CSIR has developed a commercialization framework. We're hoping that this very intervention or output can even be upscaled.
In 2025, government operationalized the Ghana National Research Fund as part of the Sankore project to finance scientific research and innovation. But experts fear lack of consistent funding could stall research efforts.
And it's very, very important that countries are able to own their own national research agenda. And owning it means funding it. If you decide as a country, for instance, that agriculture, health, climate is your priority, you put your money behind it. You fund the scientists, the researchers, the people working in that direction, and they deliver for the country.
Nigeria is looking to legalize its National Research and Innovation Fund with a draft law currently before the National Assembly. This reflects a growing recognition across West Africa that investing in science is not optional but essential, and commercialization is key.
It's one challenge which has affected most African countries. Before now, we believe in just publication and promotion for research and development activities. After all, what is the essence of doing research that will not have impact? So this is a plus for us, and we think that going forward, this is one area that is going to bring all the R&D outcomes out.
While initiatives like the Sankore project have built capacity and supported policy development over the last year, governments and stakeholders look ahead to how the gains can be sustained and the ideas translated into action.
For Ghana, we've looked at critical areas that are of priority to the country. And one of those areas has been providing support towards the operationalization of the Ghana National Research Fund. And we also want the fund in the long run to respond to national priorities.
What experts and policymakers agree to is that scientific, technological and innovative solutions can drive economic growth, improve livelihoods and prepare the country for the uncertainties of tomorrow. Beyond all, the real impact and legacy should be action and improvements in people's lives. Culinary, TV3 News.
Let's take a quick trip to the Volta region, specifically to Jogbove, a community in the South Town district of the Volta region, where residents have to trek several distances to access health care despite the completion of a health facility in the community some 8 years ago. The facility, which was handed over to the Assembly in 2018, has been left to rot as residents struggle. TV3's Faisal Abdul Idrisu has more on this story.
Access to healthcare services is indeed a lifesaver during emergencies and even for individuals with the most basic medical needs. But across the country, access remains a nightmare or a survival battle, particularly for rural communities such as Jogbove. This community has more than 2,000 population, but without a well-functioning health facility, leaving the health needs of residents up for a gamble.
It's very, very difficult. You are in labor or you have any complications, you fall on God.
Follow who?
God to come through for you. Because leaving this community to get to Dabala, if it's in the night, you will not have access to any vehicle. So it means you are delivering at home and there are any complications. It's either you lose your life or you lose your baby or both of you. So that is how bad it is.
70-year-old Ajo Gadesa has been down with an ailment for years, coupled with aging frailty. But to access health care, she will have to embark on an 18-kilometer journey to Sogakope, mostly on a motorbike. I am really suffering because to see a doctor, I have to go on a motorbike. Our roads are so poor, and look at the distance. I am suffering. And so sometimes, I don't even go when my hospital date is due. Yet, a health facility that was built here some years back is still not operational. I would have gone there because it is closer. Despite the prevailing circumstances, a health facility built for the community in 2018 has since not been operationalized.
It was a community initiative together with the NGOs. It started in 2015 and was completed in 2018 and handed over to the district assembly to make sure that the necessary things that is needed in the facility were placed in the facility so that the facility can keep on running. But very unfortunately, we couldn't get those things and the facility, the new facility got rotten.
The facility is now exposed to burglary. Thieves have invaded the place. They have stolen some roofing sheets, doors, louver blades, and also some of the electrical installations. If there are nurses here working, I'm not sure they would have stolen these things. So we need the place working.
Even electrical cables you are wearing so
As Ghana works towards achieving universal health coverage by 2030, efforts must be doubled to include financial risk protection, access to quality health care, and safe, effective, affordable medicines and vaccines for all. Faisal Abdul-Idrisu, TV3 News.
To the Bono region now, where poultry farmers and egg sellers in Doma say they are grappling with a glut of eggs, a situation they describe as worrying for their businesses. According to them, the challenge stems from a blockade by neighboring Burkina Faso, which has raised concerns about the safety of eggs exported from Ghana. Here's a report by Claude Kumi Ebisa.
The association members are experiencing frustration due to an ongoing export blockade by Burkina Faso authorities, who deem their eggs unsafe to eat. This situation has led to thousands of unsold eggs and significant economic strain. The farmers recall a promise made last month by President John Dramani Mahama regarding a delegation to Burkina Faso, but they have not received any feedback or solutions since then.
We have been informed that the authorities in Burkina Faso are claiming that our eggs are not edible and may pose health concerns. Currently, there is a shortage of eggs in Burkina Faso, and our customers are demanding supply. Yet, we are unable to meet this demand due to ongoing restrictions. Following the presentation of our petition led by Osajifo Osiadeyo Dr. Ajimai Bedu II to the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, on 18th March 2026, we were assured that a delegation would be sent to engage the authorities in Burkina Faso to address the situation. However, since then, we have not received any update or feedback regarding to this intervention.
Addressing the media, Chairman of the Egg Exporters Association urged Ghana's Agriculture and Trade Ministries to engage in government-to-government discussions, establish clear export procedures, and implement independent health certification to ensure the safety of Ghanaian eggs.
We call on the government of Ghana to take immediate steps to engage the government of Burkina Faso to resolve the current restrictions. We request the establishment of clear and consistent export procedures from the Agriculture and Trade Ministry to guide future trade. We strongly recommend that the government facilitate independent testing and certification of our eggs by the appropriate health and food safety authorities and officially communicate the results to Burkina Faso to confirm that our eggs are safe for consumption.
Bafo Atosi Abebio II, Chief Executive Officer of BM Unity Farms, expressed concerns that despite dramatic price reductions, the situation continues to negatively affect their livelihoods.
They have been buying our eggs, but since this incident happened, all our eggs is choked. We were selling these eggs at about 52 cedis, but it is now being sold at about 20 cedis per crate. 20 maximum is 33 cedis, which has made our income very, very low. And if care is not taken, we are going to run into losses, and this will collapse the poultry business in Doma.
The Doma Poultry Farmers and Egg Exporters Association's steadfast appeal highlights the urgent need for engagement and assurance on food safety that could restore cross-border trade. Claude Kome Ebisa, TV3 News, Doma Hinkro.
Security has become a major concern for residents of Djenedjene, the administrative capital of the Berekum West District in the Bono region, which currently lacks a functional district police station. Residents say that the only district police headquarters, which was initiated under the previous NPP administration, has been abandoned and are calling for its completion and operationalization to serve the population of over 49,000 people. Here's a report by Richard Menu.
Some residents expressed frustration over the delay, stating they do not understand why the facility has remained unused for the past 2 years. One resident explained that although the police station was commissioned during the NPP era, it lacks furniture and essential office equipment, preventing it from becoming operational.
Ever since I came, the police station that we have been seeing around here is somebody's house that they have rented. But Djenedjene being a capital of Berekum West, we need our own police station. Even if not for police headquarters, we need our police station. To God be the glory, they were able to put up something for us. It has been commissioned for like 2024 ending. That was when it was commissioned. But as at now, as I'm talking to you now, it is not in an operation. The building has been locked.
Another resident, Kofi Nyabianye, lamented the growing security challenges in the area. He noted that the absence of a functional police station makes it difficult to detain suspects, including armed robbers. He appealed to authorities to intervene and ensure the facility is made operational to improve safety in the community.
Armed robbers were papa.
Armed robbers are too much here, stealing motors and other things. The police officers do not stay here. We are praising authorities to come to our aid, to complete the project, to help keep police officers in the town, and help make arrests for us whenever someone is arrested.
Responding to the concerns, the District Chief Executive for Berekum West, Collins Asoma, stated that his office did not inherit proper documentation from the previous administration to continue the project. However, he assured residents that efforts are underway to make the police station functional and fully utilized.
We are much secure, but we have few challenges. Our challenge is about the police station, which has been abandoned. Not in an abandoned manner, but also in the form of the contractor not reaching us, bringing the document for payment. So letter has been written to the middle bits. We have done a lot of follow-up. We've informed the former MP. We want to know the whereabouts of the contractor. The contractor is supposed to submit the document to us for us to facilitate the payment.
You're still watching News 360. Stay with us. We have the latest in the world of sports right after this.
When you are going to buy a place, don't look left.
over Asante Kotoko at the TNA Park in Takwa. Midiama have now moved 2 points clear of second-place Gold Stars on the league log.
Team's appearance, Emmanuel Mate. Oh!
Foul. And it picked it up, Emmanuel Mate, and it came right off.
Taylor behind the ball, lifts one into the box, and oh! That is brilliant!
That delivery, he stepped up, and that was it there.
Asante Kotoko missing the likes of Albert Amwa. Of course, they didn't really come into the picture with percentage of ball possession now to the advantage of the home side. And they have another cushion here. Can they get a third?
Press from Henry Ansu. Needs a slide. Calvin Obey knew exactly where to find Salim Adam.
They're going with a foul here, but Salam would have to strike off the attack, and it's going to be Jim Morant again, and Salim Adams make it 4! A brace for the young man, and Asante Kotoko once again conceding a very high job. Look at the space there for Salim Adams. He couldn't have missed from this range.
Following Midiama's win, head coach of the side, Ibrahim Tanko, stressed the importance of winning their remaining games. Meanwhile, Kotoko's interim coach, Prince Yao Wusu, admits that the Porcupine Warriors cannot win the league at this point.
Keep the 3 points here. I think I said it before the game, and I think, and looking at how we train, like I said, the players, they did very well, and I congratulate them. This is a very fantastic performance, especially in the first half. Okay, and in any game, if you get a first goal, definitely you calm down. We are playing home, we want to win by all means, so that's why I think maybe in the first 10 minutes, the players are a bit jittery, but I think after the first goal, they showed the class, and like I said, very well performance, and let's see to concentrate on the next game. Very, very important. I said in the last 6 games, every game is like a finals. You have to approach every game, because if you drop a point and your competitors are following you very heavy. So we win this one, we will enjoy it today and tomorrow, and then we have our MTN FA Cup semi-final. And then we see the next game is against, I think, Brecum Chelsea, and then we prepare for that.
Yeah, it's a team that we lost a game over the weekend, and we're trying to put this together. The guys started playing very well, and just a foul here, for the referee to take that foul, he disallowed it, and they took a shot for it. And definitely, whoever you are, you're going to go down. Yeah, we tried it, and it didn't work the way we wanted it. It was the right one. We felt the moment, tried to hold their midfielders so that they cannot give those long passes.
Do you think your title dream is gone?
Yeah, it is gone. It's gone. I can say.
The coaches' reactions. They're heading over now to game week 32 of the English Premier League. It is game on for Manchester City in the title race following their 3-0 win against Chelsea. Even with a game in hand, only 6 points separate Pep Guardiola's team from league leaders Arsenal. Women's football. Ghana's Black Maidens made a strong statement in their Under-17 Women's World Cup campaign with a commanding 2-0 victory over Togo in the first leg of their tie. Priscilla Mensah opened scoring in the 16th minute and then went ahead to double Ghana's lead in the 64th minute. Her brace ensured a crucial away victory. Ghana will now shift focus to the second leg, which is scheduled to take place at the Accra Sports Stadium on Saturday, 18th April. That will be all for sports here on News 360. I am Aniela Alute. Up next is international news.
Thank you, Aniela. Now, before we go, President Donald Trump says the U.S. Navy will block any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping route. In a separate post on Truth Social, he adds that direct talks with Iran in Islamabad failed because Iran is unwilling to give up its nuclear ambitions. Earlier, Iran's delegation leader said the U.S. failed to gain Tehran's trust during lengthy negotiations in Islamabad, Pakistan. How they unfolded were not as planned. And that's how we end this edition of News 360. I'm Bernice Abubeidou Lansa.
And I am Martin Asiedudate. Thank you very much for watching. There is more news on our website, 3news.com. Bye for now.